All right, so we have today, our topic is
The book we've been talking about on
Right.
quite a few episodes.
Love and Respect by Dr. Emerson Eggerichs. Eggerichs. But yeah, we've been talking about this for a while. We finally finished going through the entire book.
Yeah.
And I think it's a mixed bag in terms of, I think we needed to do this because we talked about it, and then we don't want to give a wrong impression and like say, we agree with everything.
We know
in this
King's
book.
going to read it. He said multiple times he's reading it. So King, this is also for you because we recommended it and then you said you were going to read it, and now we need to explain ourselves.
But yeah, I'll let you start. What are your thoughts overall on the book?
I liked the book, the concept of the book.
Yeah.
I liked. However, I think people who read the book and don't kind of focus strictly on the concept might be a little confused.
Yeah.
Or like not get the full message of what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
That we agreed is the full message, right? Because the concept of love and respect and the little like acronym things that he uses are good.
Right.
And that's the core of the book. And he talks about this thing called the crazy cycle, which we'll have to talk about. It makes sense, like those aspects. And we're not very religious, but I can still objectively read the religiousness of it and understand it. But some of the religious stuff just did not make sense. And I thought, and I know you agree too, could be almost harmful for the ways that it's applied. So that's why we wanted to talk about it, because it's a lot to it rather than just the concept, which was good. But some of the reasoning behind the things that he talks about, his reasoning is concerning.
So, and caveat here for this book, it's highly religious. It's written by a pastor who, this is his ministry. So, Christian theology. Again, nothing wrong with Christian theology. If you're a Christian, we're not going to knock your religion. That's not the point of it. But we will say some things that I think are important to understand why you do things. And and if you're doing some of the love and respect things just because
God told you to.
Right. Then it diminishes the value of it to your partner.
Right.
Because you're just doing it because you're supposed to do it, as opposed to...
Well, and the intent behind it, like the reasoning of why you should be doing this. Because I don't feel like it should be attached to anything but the love and respect you have for your partner. Right.
Exactly. And that's the biggest, I think, issue that I have with the book. And like I said, if you do read this book, just know that it is going to have a lot of scripture in it, a lot. And a lot of the basis of this scripturally is a bit flimsy, I would say, because he's got one passage in Ephesians that he uses to mostly do this. But that doesn't take away from the concept. I think the concept of love and respect, and just to give, what is the concept of love and respect? It's essentially this. It is that what women need most from their partner is unconditional love. And what men need most from their partner is unconditional respect. And unconditional respect is the new kid in the playground.
In the scene.
Right. Yeah. Because that's not something that you've really probably ever heard of.
Yeah.
And it seems weird at first, like that's not the same. But what it comes down to is the fact that what really is valuable to a woman is love, is feeling loved. And what's really valuable to a man is feeling respect. Not that both don't want both, because men want to be respected and loved.
They involve both.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But it's just like what you said, is that the forefront for women is love and the forefront for men is respect.
Right.
But there is love in respect and there is respect in love.
Right.
But it's just the balance of it. Just like men and women have feminine and masculine energies, they're together.
Right.
But it's the balance of it. Men want the respect, more so to stand out than the love, and women want the love more so than like I'm not saying they don't want respect. I'm not saying disrespect them, but normally when you're acting from a place of love, you are giving respect. And if you're acting from a place of respect, you are giving love.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just which one is the more important need at that person. If you ask a man, what is he lacking? Or, you know, if he has a complaint about his partner, it's probably going to be she doesn't respect me in some form of way. That's going to be the thing that is getting him upset. And if you ask a woman, what is the thing that's upsetting you about your partner? It's like, he doesn't love me. He doesn't show me that, you know, and he says in the book also that women typically show a lot of love. They never, a man never questions, does she love me? He knows that she loves, right? But women often question, does he actually love me? Does he love me as much as I love him? Right? Those are, you know, and then on the other side, the respect thing, women don't usually wonder.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, do men really show women a ton of respect though? Because when they're with her, maybe, but not,
well,
not outside of that, as we've seen with some of these guys, but
they typically will say things or have a conversation, or let's say where it really comes down to is when you're having a fight, when you're having an argument. And this is where that crazy cycle that he calls it comes into play, which is the woman doesn't feel loved, so she acts in a disrespectful way. The man doesn't feel respected, so he acts in an unloving way. And the way that you see this is that women will typically, in an argument, be critical, right? Say things that are somewhat harsh. And men will tend to stonewall or withdraw,
right?
And which is an unloving thing, right? And so it's like, because it's fueling this cycle. And I think this is the truest thing about this book, is because everyone can recognize when they've been on this crazy cycle where, you know, the woman's, she's not feeling love, the man's not feeling respected, and those things fuel each other.
Keep going. Yeah.
Exactly. Because the more that you're not making me feel respected, the more that I'm withdrawing, and the more that I'm withdrawing, the more that you're getting upset and
feeling unloved, and then being more disrespectful. Yeah.
Yeah. So just understanding that concept alone probably save your marriage.
Right.
Right. Like that's, if you just get that.
Yeah. The concept is really good.
Yeah.
It's just the rest of the stuff that is murky. Well, like, we understand it, but where other people might get the wrong idea of why they should be doing this. And that's why we wanted to do an episode on this, is because the way that he explains why you should do it, granted it's from a religious aspect, it still doesn't put the value in doing it for your partner because you love them and you respect them and you want to be with them, and this is the person you chose to spend the rest of your life with, and that you want to honor that commitment. It's more so, in his theory, from a place of God told you to do this. So
better than perfect, we stand.